Greetings, dear viewers. I am delighted to welcome you to our enchanting journey through tales of mystery and wonder. Please make yourself comfortable. Have a seat on your favorite sofa and allow me to set the mood for our storytelling session. For those who enjoy the rich, robust flavors of Turkish coffee, we hope you have a freshly brewed pot ready. And if you'd like, indulge in the aromatic pleasure of a water pipe with your choice of mint or mango flavor. The gentle, soothing experience is sure to enhance our storytelling atmosphere. But if you prefer something different, perhaps a refreshing glass of orange juice or a calming cup of mint tea, be happy to do so. Whatever your preference, you are most welcome here. Now, with our senses delighted and our spirits uplifted, let us embark on a journey into the world of ancient myths, magical realms, and eccentric science. Sit back, relax, and let the stories unfold. I already have a surprise for you at the beginning of our journey. While exploring an old bookshelf in the bazaar of Luxor, I discovered the diary of none other than H.P. Lovecraft, documenting his unknown travels to Egypt in 1922. This diary contains spooky entries of his adventures. We don't know if he really experienced them or invented them, but they are truly captivating. We are so excited to share his stories with you that we will begin our video today with his adventure of meeting the goddess Sekhmet in Karnak. Following that, we will visit the second book of Gates. One theme is purification in the underworld, another is perception while wandering in the Duat. Then, we have an interview with Professor Jung and his views on the themes of the second gate. After that, we will meet Professor Zweistein, who will introduce us to the secrets of Egyptian magic. But now, here is Lovecraft's diary entry. Winter Palace, Luxor, March 1922. The morning sun struggled to pierce the heavy drapes of my room at the Winter Palace, casting pallid, sickly patterns on the floor. I had been confined to this ornate cell for days, my mind feverish with nightmarish visions. Driven by a restless urge, I ventured out into the ancient streets of Luxor, seeking clarity or perhaps deeper madness. Luxor thrummed with an eerie energy, its narrow alleys and bustling markets a labyrinth of shadows and whispers. My steps, guided by an unseen hand, led me to the towering columns of the Luxor temple, where history's weight bore down upon me. Compelled by a sinister force, I continued northward towards the desolate ruins of Karnak. After hours of wandering, I found myself in a small Bedouin village near the temple complex. The villagers regarded me with a mix of curiosity and unease as I settled down for a meal. The flavors of the local cuisine did little to alleviate the growing dread within me. My fingers traced the worn pages of Pierre Loti's travel book on Egypt, and soon I was engrossed in a chapter on Sekhmet. Loti's words conveyed the Bedouins' terror, their whispers that Sekhmet left her sanctuary in Karnak to hunt the living by night. When I mentioned her name to the waiter, his face drained of color. "Very bad," he muttered, voice trembling. He recounted ghastly tales of people vanishing in Luxor, their screams swallowed by the night, while a dreadful roaring echoed from the accursed ruins of Karnak. The ancient pharaoh's haunt was indeed a place of unimaginable evil. Compelled by a morbid curiosity, I resolved to uncover the truth behind these dark legends. The next day, I arrived at the sprawling ruins of Karnak, a vast expanse of crumbling walls and sand-choked courtyards. Shadows clung to every crevice, and the oppressive silence seemed to amplify the ghostly whispers of the past. Tourists from France and England wandered aimlessly, oblivious to the malevolent presence that lurked just beyond their perception. I approached a vendor peddling a mummified cat and inquired about the Hall of Sekhmet. "Don't go there," he warned, his eyes wide with fear. Undeterred, I pressed a generous bakshish into his trembling hands, and with palpable reluctance, he led me through the maze of ruins. We climbed over walls and squeezed through narrow passages until we reached an obscure and ancient temple, its entrance yawning like the maw of some great beast. As I descended into the temple's depths, the air grew colder, heavy with the scent of decay and ancient stone. The flickering light of my torch cast grotesque shadows on the walls, where hieroglyphs depicted scenes of divine wrath and grotesque retribution. Eventually, I stood before a vast, dimly lit hall dominated by a statue of Sekhmet, her fearsome visage carved from the very essence of terror. A sense of dread enveloped me as I approached the statue, the air crackling with a malevolent energy that seemed to burrow into my very soul. As I drew nearer, the statue shimmered and shifted, transforming before my eyes into a stunningly beautiful woman. Draped in an eccentric array of elaborate jewelry and flowing silks, her eyes blazed with an intense, hypnotic light that froze me in place. She reminded me of my harrowing experience in the Underworld, her voice both seductive and chilling. "I knew you would come, Lovecraft," she purred, her words dripping with a sinister promise. "Seth told me I could do with you as I wish. You read a forbidden text which was not meant for mortals." My heart hammered in my chest, my voice a mere whisper as I pleaded for mercy. "Do you really kill the people of Luxor?" "Only those who worship Sekhmet, the chaos," she replied, her cold smile sending a shiver down my spine. Desperate, I begged for her mercy once more. "Wait outside the temple," she commanded. I stumbled into the harsh daylight, my mind reeling. When I turned back, Sekhmet had vanished, leaving me to question my own sanity. The next morning, as I sat in the garden of the Winter Palace, attempting to enjoy a tranquil breakfast, my thoughts remained consumed by the previous day's horrors. Suddenly, a woman appeared among the flowers, moving with the predatory grace of a dangerous cat. My heart lurched. It was Sekhmet. Her presence was both mesmerizing and terrifying, a living embodiment of my darkest fears. She approached my table, her movements fluid and deliberate. In her hands, she held a small, delicate statue of Seth. "I hope you accept this little gift," she said, her voice a velvety whisper that carried an undercurrent of danger. I took the statue from her, my fingers trembling as they brushed against hers. The statue was exquisitely crafted, a representation of Seth that seemed almost alive. "Thank you," I managed to say, my voice barely audible. Sekhmet's smile was enigmatic, her eyes gleaming with a malevolent light. "Remember our encounter, Lovecraft," she said softly. "Live according to the laws of Ma'at, for I am always watching." With that, she turned and disappeared into the morning light, leaving me alone with my dread. The statue of Seth felt unnaturally cold in my hands, a grim reminder of the ancient powers that had marked me forever. I vowed to live with integrity, haunted by the knowledge that Sekhmet watched over me, a silent guardian and a relentless judge. Thus ends my account of this extraordinary and terrifying day. The secrets of the past linger still, their echoes resonating through the corridors of time, waiting for those brave or foolish enough to seek them out. A strange entry in Lovecraft's diary, isn't it? I will tell you a secret. The story with Sekhmet continues. But now, let's focus on the second hour of the Book of Gates. How deep into the darkness will Ra descend? The second hour of the night begins. But does the sun's light still shine in this forsaken place? Here, where the light of day fades, the journey grows more dangerous. The waters stir, and shadows stretch to drag the boat beneath the waves. Can Ra's companions, Sia and Heka, prevent disaster, or will the forces of chaos consume the light? The Duat is the Egyptian underworld, a place filled with darkness and dangers, where the deceased travel and where Ra, the sun god, must journey each night. Ra's light represents life, order, and the daily rebirth of the sun. As the boat glides forward, strange ripples disturb the surface of the water, suggesting something lurking below. A whispering voice fills the air, challenging Ra's right to pass. Something stirs beneath the waters. The shadows whisper, "Does the sun god still have the power to cross these depths, or will his light be snuffed out?" The sun boat, or solar bark, is Ra's mythical vessel. By day, it carries him across the sky, bringing light to the world. At night, it descends into the Duat, where Ra faces the forces of darkness and chaos. The surface of the water begins to bubble violently. What creature of the Duat rises from the depths to challenge Ra? And now, before Ra lies the gate of the second hour, but it is not unguarded. Two serpents stand vigilant, their eyes burning with the fire of ancient magic. Can Ra's companions unlock this barrier, or will the guardians prove too powerful? In the Book of Gates, each hour of the Duat is marked by a gate, guarded by powerful beings. The gates symbolize the barriers between the realms of the living and the dead, and Ra must pass through them to ensure the sun rises again. Who dares approach our gate? No light passes here without an offering. Does Ra have the strength to command the gate to open? The snake asks.
We see your challenge, but Ra carries the light of creation. He is the master of all realms, and his journey cannot be denied.
Sia is the god of perception and insight. He helps Ra by revealing hidden truths and guiding the sunboat through the dangers of the underworld. His ability to see beyond illusions is critical in this hour. The serpents are reluctant to yield. Their coils tighten around the gate, refusing to move. The power of perception alone does not sway them. The forces of magic must now come into play.
By the magic of creation, the gate shall open. No serpent can stand in the path of the sun.
Heka, god of magic, raises his staff and speaks the ancient words of power. Heka is the god of magic in Egyptian mythology. Magic, called Heka, was considered a fundamental force of creation, controlling the balance between order and chaos. Heka's power ensures Ra's journey continues safely through the Duat. The gate begins to crack open, but the serpents hiss louder, their bodies still blocking the way. Will the gate open fully, or will the power of the serpents overcome Ra's light? Now the gate has opened, but who stands beyond it? 14 deities appear, guardians of the underworld, but are they allies of Ra, or do they hold secrets of their own? In Egyptian cosmology, various gods and spirits inhabit the Duat, each with a specific role in maintaining the balance of life and death. These gods are crucial to the proper functioning of the universe, and they ensure that Ra's journey continues unimpeded. Bow before the light of the heavens, for I am Ra, the master of day and night. The second hour is mine to command, says Ra. The deities are silent as they march toward the sunboat. Their intentions are unclear. Are they here to guide Ra, or do they represent the challenges that still lie ahead? The silence is unsettling. Will the gods of the underworld submit to Ra's power, or do they harbor doubts about the strength of the sun god? The gods halt before the boat, their faces unreadable. What do they want from Ra, and will they help or hinder his journey? And now we see Utum, the ancient creator god. He stands watch over the inert ones, the enemies of Ra who lie bound in eternal punishment. But what power do these enemies still hold in the underworld? Utum is one of the oldest gods in Egyptian mythology, representing the setting sun and creation. He is a figure of immense authority, symbolizing the end of the day and the beginning of renewal. His role in the underworld is to ensure that the enemies of light remain bound and defeated. Utum, silent and unmoving, but his gaze is filled with authority. He raises his staff slightly.
These are the ones who sought to defy the light. Now they lie chained beneath the earth, never to rise again. Their punishment is eternal.
As Ra's boat passes by, a faint stirring comes from the bound enemies. Though defeated, their hatred for Ra has not faded. Their chains rattle slightly, as if some dark force still lurks within them. Though bound, the enemies of Ra have not forgotten their rebellion. Is there still power within them, and will they attempt to strike once more? A low hiss rises from the bound enemies. Is this merely the wind, or is something dark stirring within their chains? As the sun boat sails further into the underworld, a new presence emerges. The Ennead, 9 mummified figures, silent sentinels of ancient power, rise from the shadows. Their purpose is unknown, but their power is undeniable. The Ennead of 9 mummies represent an ancient order, guarding the most sacred and hidden secrets of the Duat. These figures, bound in eternal silence, are neither friend nor foe, but their presence is a harbinger of something greater, a trial yet to come. The Ennead stirs. What secrets do these ancient ones guard? Will Ra's light be enough to pass without stirring their ancient wrath, or do they hold the key to the next phase of his journey? The mummy's eyes faintly glow as the boat passes. Will the Ennead remain silent, or will they rise to challenge Ra's journey through the Duat? Now, at the end of the second hour, the final gate stands before Ra. It is guarded by the great serpent, the Coiled One, a force of immense power. Will the might of the sun god be enough to pass through, or does this serpent hold the key to Ra's defeat? Serpents often serve as guardians in Egyptian mythology, embodying both protection and destruction. In this case, the serpent guards the way forward, and only through divine power can the path be opened.
No light shall pass beyond this gate. The power of the Duat holds firm here. What force do you bring to open this door?
Here, I am Ra, and my light shall not be denied. The dawn comes, and no serpent can stand against the power of the sun.
The serpent coils tighter, resisting Ra's power. Its eyes glow brighter, and the gate remains shut. Ra's light must overcome the ancient darkness of this guardian. Now let's visit Professor Jung and hear his view about the second hour.
Professor Jung, could you explain the significance of the second gate? With sharp heat, in the Book of Gates, from a Jungian perspective?
Certainly. The second gate, known as with sharp heat, represents a critical point in the soul's journey through the underworld. This gate symbolizes intense trials and purification. The name itself suggests a process of transformation through fire, which in psychological terms is akin to the confrontation and integration of the shadow self.
Okay, here is my second question. What do the symbols of the upright daggers and the Urao's serpents represent?
The upright daggers adorning the walls symbolize the sharp, often painful insights that arise during self-confrontation. Just as daggers cut through physical matter, these insights cut through illusions and delusions, revealing deeper truths about oneself. Imagine someone undergoing therapy who suddenly realizes a painful truth about their past behavior. This insight, though painful, is necessary for personal growth. The Uro serpents, on the other hand, are symbols of divine protection and authority in Egyptian mythology. They represent the protective forces within the psyche that guard against unconscious material overwhelming the conscious mind. Consider the protective mechanisms of the mind, such as repression, which shield us from traumatic memories until we are ready to confront them.
I think I understand. How does the second gate function as a threshold in the journey through the underworld?
Passing through the second gate marks the transition from the outer layers of the psyche to deeper, more introspective realms. It serves as a boundary between superficial self-understanding and profound self-awareness. Think of it as moving from casual self-reflection to an intensive self-examination phase, where one begins to uncover the core aspects of their identity and unconscious motivations.
I see. So the spiritual journey becomes more intensive. Could you elaborate on the concept of purification and its importance at this stage?
Purification at this gate is akin to the alchemical process of nigredo, the blackening phase, where the old self is decomposed to make way for the new. This stage involves confronting and integrating the shadow, which includes all the repressed and unacknowledged parts of oneself. In personal development, this could be likened to a period of intense self-scrutiny and transformation, such as during a midlife crisis, where old beliefs and behaviors are challenged and reformed.
I understand. So it's all about repressed and unacknowledged parts of oneself. Next question. What is the role of the guardians at this gate?
The guardians, represented by the Euros serpents and mummiform figures, ensure that only those who are ready and purified can pass through. They symbolize the need for psychological readiness and resilience. In real life, this is similar to the role of a therapist who helps a person determine if they are ready to face certain painful memories or truths about themselves.
Okay, here is the next question. What is the significance of the second Ennead and the 9 mummies beyond the gate?
The second Ennead refers to the 9 mummies, which symbolize completeness and readiness for judgment or further transformation. The number 9 often represents the end of a cycle and the approach of a new beginning. This can be compared to completing a significant phase of personal growth, such as finishing a long-term therapy process where the individual feels ready to face new challenges with a stronger sense of self.
Finally, what overall lessons can we draw from the second gate in the context of Jungian psychology?
The second gate, with its intense symbolism and archetypal imagery, teaches us about the necessity of purification, confronting the shadow, and preparing for deeper self-awareness. It emphasizes the importance of readiness, resilience, and the willingness to face the deepest parts of the self on the journey toward individuation and self-realization. In life, this translates to the ongoing process of self-improvement and personal growth, where one must continually confront and integrate new aspects of the self to achieve a balanced and fulfilling life. At this point, I would like to add something. What happens to the damned in the second gate of the Book of Gates, and how can we interpret this psychologically? In the symbolic framework of the Book of Gates, the second gate represents a profound threshold. Those who are deemed damned are essentially individuals who have not achieved the necessary purification and readiness for deeper self-awareness. They have not confronted or integrated their shadow aspects, the hidden, repressed parts of their psyche. Psychologically, this can be understood as the state of an individual who is unable or unwilling to face their inner darkness. The shadow contains all those parts of ourselves that we deny, repress, or remain unconscious of. When we do not confront these aspects, we become trapped in a cycle of inner conflict and suffering. The damned are those who remain in this state of unresolved inner turmoil. Such individuals may experience recurring patterns of self-destructive behavior, emotional instability, and a pervasive sense of incompleteness. They are damned in the sense that they are stuck in their psychological development. They cannot progress to higher levels of self-awareness and individuation until they undertake the difficult journey of self-examination and transformation. Passing through the second gate symbolizes the necessity of facing these dark aspects of ourselves. It is a process that requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to endure the pain of self-confrontation. However, for those who succeed, the reward is significant. They emerge with a deeper understanding of themselves, greater psychological resilience, and a more integrated personality. In essence, the second gate teaches us that personal growth and self-realization are contingent upon our ability to confront and integrate the shadow. Only through this arduous but essential process can we achieve true psychological wholeness and be prepared to face the deeper realms of our psyche.
Thank you, Professor Jung, for this insightful analysis.